Hey everybody, I wanted to jump on here and talk about what happened to my husband and I. We just received the second dose of the Pfizer vaccine this weekend, and I know there's been a lot of people who have questions, so I thought I would share what we went through. Please keep in mind, we're not medical doctors. This is not one size fits all. Everybody has different reactions, and each of us have our own different situations going into it. So the idea that we would react the same doesn't count. So I'm going to give you a breakdown of how it happened for us when we had the shots and what we went through. And hopefully this will help somebody else down the road. I apologize for the low light. It is dark. I sort of didn't have time to video until later on tonight. But I wanted to make sure that I got here and did this video for you all. So let's start off with some basics. The first part is we had our first vaccine, and it is the Pfizer 2-dose vaccine. And it was administered through one of the local pharmacies here in a grocery store here in Maine, local chain, New England. It's the Shaw's Albertson group that has the pharmacy. The first dose that we had was right at the beginning of April, and we had, it was one of those cases where I couldn't find any place to sign up. Did finally find a way to look into this individual database that Albertson Shaw's had, and was able to sign up and got an appointment really quickly. Within a week we were in there. And so the first dose we had, we had no problems. The pharmacist was fantastic. I've said this before. He was knowledgeable, friendly. He was helpful. He answered any questions we had. And like I said, first dose, other than a sore arm for a little bit, really nothing. We didn't have much of anything happen to us. So fast forward a couple of weeks later, you have to wait the 2 weeks. We had our second dose, and same pharmacy, same pharmacist. Actually, it was a different pharmacist, but same pharmacy. And she was just equally as good. And we went in, again, no lines there waiting. It was really very efficient, and there was no hassle whatsoever to do this. So we had the dose last Saturday, and it was right around noontime when we had it done, which was our scheduled appointment time. And we both went in at the same time and had ours done. There was, I think, having the shot is a shot. It doesn't last for very long, so it really didn't bother us that much. Neither one of us are too squeamish. After, I went through a lot having 2 kids, and so I had a lot of shots. And so after that, I can handle anything, just about. And so we had the shots. Not even the arm was sore. It was not even a problem. I would say later on that night, we were still congratulating ourselves that really wasn't having any problems, or sort of figuring, okay, yeah, we're gonna go through this okay. I was a little tired. I did feel, now I have an autoimmune disease that's called Hashimoto's, which affects the thyroid. And one of the things that it does is when you have something like this, your body immediately, of course your body does anyways, goes onto the defensive. And with Hashimoto's, it can cause a lot of inflammation. And so I did say I was having inflammation in my legs, and I was feeling kind of tired. But this is pretty normal for Hashimoto's. If I eat too much bread of any sort, that's going to happen. So it was pretty similar to that. So that night, we went to bed, did okay. The next morning when we woke up, so we're talking Sunday morning afterwards, we're still doing okay. Actually, we felt well enough to go take a short ride, have some breakfast, usual Sunday morning stuff, and we came back and started doing things. And about noontime, I noticed hubby started looking a little like he had a headache. And he did. He was developing a headache and just sort of feeling run down. And so he just sort of took it easy for a while. I was okay. I was still feeling a lot of inflammation. Took stuff to combat that I have. And both of us were drinking a lot of Gatorade, which we had heard if you drink a lot of Gatorade after the shot, it helps the electrolytes to stay in your system. So we did that. And then about by bedtime, we were really starting to feel something. His headache had gotten a lot worse. I was just feeling really run down. And we went to sleep that night. By the next morning, I had the headache and dried out. That's definitely part of this. I don't know if it's some sort of mechanism with the body as it tries to fight its reaction to what is going on with this. Felt achy, more so than I normally would, and a lot more swelling. Nothing overly bad. I started off with chills, and then as the day, so we're now on to Monday, and I ended up calling out on Monday. Unfortunately, I was feeling not well. I slept pretty much off and on through until about 1 o'clock. And at which time I sort of still felt yucky. Still had the headache, was trying to get some fluids down. Didn't feel like sitting up or anything, just stayed in bed until that time. And then once it started to seem like the headache was clearing and I could get the Tylenol, plenty of Tylenol, Gatorade, those are the things that you need to get through it. Plenty of fluids. Once we got that into our system, he was starting to feel better before I was. Of course, he started to feel worse before I did. So, it's one of the other, two of the other. So yeah, so by dinner time on Monday, we were pretty much done with it. I mean, we still felt a little dragged because of what we'd been through. But really the fogginess and the headache had lifted and we felt a whole lot better about it. So yeah, so that was, it was a good, let's see, 48 hours afterwards. It didn't start until about 24 hours after, and then it lasted until about 48 hours afterwards. So yeah, so I would take that into account. Not everybody has this. I know plenty of people who've had the Pfizer vaccine, not had any symptoms whatsoever. That's fantastic. That's great. Like I said, I have other markers involved. My mother-in-law has lupus, and she was much more ill than I was, and some of the symptoms that she has are similar to what I do. Some of the same inflammation markers are there. So yeah, so to each his own. It's all going to affect you differently. The chances of you having a reaction are still there, but they're manageable, and it wasn't certainly something that I felt like, if anything, the outcome was, it made me feel like if this is as bad as it's going to get with this, I'm okay. Because as long as I don't get COVID, or if I get it and it's not as bad, I can live with that. I can be okay with that. I have spent a year of being as careful as possible, and I really didn't want to mess it up and not have the shot. That's my personal choice. You know, definitely if you feel that that is your not something that you want to do, you have to make that choice for yourself. Please, please, please don't feel that I am in any way pressuring you to do so. I just know for myself, this was important. My husband and I are working towards this thing of becoming full-time RVers. And we knew that the last thing we wanted to do was get onto the road and be ill. So for us, it was really important, and we take the precautions that we can now in order so we can have a better future. And so for us, that's important. Will we continue wearing masks? Yeah. Yep, we will. I have 2 children. Both of them are in their 20s. Neither one of them have had the shots. One has scheduled to have the shot. The other one has not. And again, that's their choice. We can always offer an opportunity, but we can't make them do it. I can advise, but I can't. They're adults. So anyways, that's it for now. I wanted to jump on and just sort of post this so you can see this, and I hope you all are well. And please know that we're sending our very best from Maine.